Wait.
We're back. Let's go. Welcome. Episode 10. We've hit the double digits.
We're there. This is it. A
This
milestone.
this is the Big 10, as they
A
say.
special milestone, a special guest, a special topic. Everything's going well
Today we have
today.
my man Viraj talking about what are we talking about?
Fitness.
There we have it. Fitness
Fitness.
and weight loss as well. Just
Yeah.
keeping fit, keeping healthy. Obviously, health is one of the main pillars of life.
Yeah.
Especially in these trying times.
Exactly. Perfect time to be fit, healthy. No excuses. You have plenty of time.
100%, mate.
Also, everything's been sorted audio wise. I got Google Podcasts is now live. That's all sorted. Spotify, everything, obviously. Got a fresh new YouTube URL. Just Spenny, it's beautiful. Yeah,
Well, you just got Just Spenny?
yeah, I just got it today.
Jesus.
It's fresh.
It is pretty good.
Yeah,
Might
but
be a bit confusing now that we have to pretend that we have to remember that Twitch is Spenny7, but
yeah,
YouTube
true.
is Spenny.
Well, I was
But-
thinking, I was having a chat about whether we should make a separate YouTube channel and put all the videos on there. We could talk about it like another time, but I don't know whether that's up for discussion at all.
I mean, maybe. I guess. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Might be better for the brand.
Brand.
Maybe just having the single behind closed doors thing, so that
Yeah, it makes
there's no,
sense.
confusion whether what you're trying to search to find it. But I guess it doesn't really matter, does it?
Nah, that makes sense. Makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Fitness, health.
Bang into it.
How have you guys been keeping healthy during lockdown? Because obviously you're stuck inside. Well, for the most part, stuck within a vicinity. How have you been keeping fit?
Let's see what Viraj has to say. I'm interested in.
Me? Oh,
Yeah,
me.
man.
To be fair, I used to do a lot of running in the back, in the past, but recently because of the lockdown, I've been doing runs. I try to do at least 3 a week. It's not a lot, but I do runs, and then I recently do the home workouts, like the press ups and all the stuff like that. But it's not as fun. Well, not as fun, but it's not as good as a gym. I feel like, but
Nah,
it's
I
them two.
agree, mate.
But yeah, just them
Nowhere
two,
near as
and
gym.
not really more. I tried to buy equipment for Amazon, but it got sold out so quickly now. But
Yeah, they're in demand and they're properly expensive as well. Like way more expensive than you might expect it to be.
yeah,
So it's peak. But what sort of distance do you run when you go running?
I did the couch to five. I think it's called couch to 5K. It's like you
Okay.
run for 5K, but it basically builds you to run for 30 minutes. So you do 3 a week, and each week it progresses you on to getting better and running for 30 minutes. So I did that in the past, but I want to do that. I'm doing it again now. So yeah, it's challenging, but once I feel like once you do it once, you you lose it really. You can't do it again for a while, and you got to build yourself up basically.
Oh, okay. So the first few runs that they put you on, what sort of distances do you do? And is it like a constant rate, or do they sort of let you, stop and take breaks?
Yeah. So it's so an example would be you would run for 5 minutes, and then you would walk for 2 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
It's how time based, not how further you can go. It's
Right,
time
right,
and
right.
how long you. It's basically it's building you to run for 30. Well, not run, but to jog for 30 minutes. They say run, but you're basically jogging.
Yeah. That's actually kind of interesting because I'm doing the same kind of thing now because obviously there's that whole thing going around with the nominate a 5K thing, and Spencer
Yeah, I've seen
kindly
that.
set me up for a nomination.
I got you.
And I've literally never been running before, so I was like, 5K don't sound like a lot. So I literally just I grabbed a nearest pair of trainers and I was like, right, let's go out. And mate, it was so hard. It was so hard. I just had this horrible stitch. I was so my throat was burning. I could barely breathe. And that was after 2.5 kilometers, and then I ended up just sort of walk slash running for the on and off for 5 minutes. Just I made it up. I think I got 4K in the end, but it kind of sparked an interest in running for me. So now I've sort of started doing shorter runs. So I'm actually gonna maybe try what you've just said, because at the moment I've been doing 2 to 3K runs, but trying not to stop. So I've just sort of just been trying to go for the whole time. But I think I might try and give that whole thing a go where I'm not worried about the distance, but I just sort of, do a set amount of time running and then a set amount of time just walking.
No, definitely.
Do you think it's better to do time based rather than distance for,
No, I mean,
for runs, obviously?
I feel like it is.
Oh, internet cut halfway through a sentence.
Kilometers, like it's not.
Oh, wait,
Sorry, Karen,
Wait, am I
Karen.
lagging out?
Now you're
Am I
back.
lagging
You're
out?
back. You're back. Carry
What
on.
happened?
Now you're back. It just cut out, but we're back.
What did I say? Did you hear what I said?
Now you're about to start your sentence.
Oh, I said that I feel like it's better if you do like you time it. I feel like it's timing's better because it builds you to run for longer, so then you can do more kilometers than just focusing on the kilometers. You want to focus on how the time of it as well. That makes sense. I don't know, so you can build up your like endurance. It's about building endurance, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just because then obviously when you do like weightlifting and stuff, you don't measure that in time. You measure that in reps or like sets of reps. Whereas,
Yeah, you do.
so you'd equivalent that to runs as in kilometers, like distance, how far you can run. But obviously here we're talking about time. I don't time how many, I don't know, like fucking arm curls I can do.
Yeah,
I do
that's
like
true.
I don't know, like 8 reps.
It's a
of
different
3
exercise,
sets.
isn't it? So I mean, it's a different exercise, isn't it? So
Yeah, no, true. It's a different part of your body. Like it's a whole part of you. It's like respiratory system. It's cardio, isn't it? It's not an actual muscle on your. It is a muscle, isn't it? Your lungs are. I guess you're training your lungs to get used to like inhaling a lot of oxygen at high speeds.
yeah.
I think it's just getting your body used to that sort of like stress that you undergo. Like running is pretty intense on your body in general. Like you're literally just throwing your whole body forwards, like step after step, like breathe in and managing all your muscles and just stepping forwards. I just find it so exhausting. Like whenever I go out, literally it takes like 5 minutes and my calves are burning. Like obviously that's just because I'm kind of new to that. Like I hadn't been doing any like calf exercises over the last few weeks or anything, so that's to be expected. But you could feel the sort of strain it puts on your body, and like after I get in from the run, I feel just like so worn down. And
Yeah.
again, it's just I imagine that's what it's like for starting, just as a startup runner. But I guess you're right. You just need to keep like working on it so you can sort of cope with that kind of exertion of energy on a longer scale.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for you boys, but for me, I got a really bad shin splint, I think it's called, where like your
Really?
shins get really painful, where every time you take a step, it will hurt, and it's usually caused by running.
I've never had that. I've
And I
never,
got it
never.
I got it when we're doing. I tried that. I did the 5K. I got it then.
Yeah.
It's probably because I don't run consistently, so my body wasn't used to it, and it's just like a sharp pain in your shins every step. And that's
pretty
like
weird.
that was a pain I had to push through while doing it, and it was not comfortable at all.
I had this sort of equivalent in this. I had like this horrible stitch. Like I've had it like every other run. Just to be honest with you, I think it's probably just like eating too soon after running. But usually I leave it like at least 2 or 3 hours, like not eating anything, and then I'll go out for a run. But I still get these horrible like stitches like right down the lower abdomen. Like it's pretty bad, but you just sort of got to go through it, I guess. It's just one of the things.
Yeah, I don't do that to be fair. I try to eat like I eat like 30. I would eat 30 minutes before my run because if I eat like 2 hours before, I feel like I get more stitches. I don't know. That's just with me.
Oh,
I feel
really?
like I need to eat. Yeah, I feel like I need to eat or like have something or have like protein in me before I go like to the gym or I go run. Otherwise, I burn out. I don't know. It's just I need something. I
I
don't know.
guess that I know that makes sense. Like I guess it just sort of be dependent, like independent to your body. Like you got to just sort of, just like anything else, really. You got to find out what your body's more comfortable with. So I don't know. Maybe I should just be trying out different, eating at different times before. But usually when I go to the gym, like I 100% don't eat like just before. I hate eating just before the gym. It ruins the whole thing for me. Like I feel so nauseous the whole set,
Yeah, I'll be sick.
like the whole time through all the sets, and I just get like I can get like halfway through and then I just end up like feeling so rubbish, like so bloated. But so I just usually go like 3 to 4 hours after eating. But I don't know, I guess it would just be dependent on what you're most comfortable with, isn't it?
And what you eat, I have like before I used to, not before, but I still do it now. But when I go to the gym, like 30 minutes before, I'll have like fruit, or even 15 minutes before, I like drive to the gym and I'll just have my fruit bowl in the car, and then I'll go straight to the gym and I'll be fine. Like just a bit of fruit.
Okay,
Like
yeah, that might make more sense to be fair, because I'm thinking when I say food, I mean like a full like dinner. So I guess.
No, I was just talking about like snack or something like a
Yeah. Okay.
protein bar or like shake or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I imagine that's probably quite a lot better. That's actually probably good for you, isn't it? Because you just get an extra burst of energy that hits as you're doing the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apart from runs, have you guys been doing any more sort of body workouts? Obviously, like arms, chest, shoulders, legs, anything like that?
Do some squats, do some, like Viraj says, like, the standard home workout stuff that's easy, like press ups. To be honest with you, it's majority press ups just because they're so easy. Like you can just bang them out like
Yeah,
time after time. I don't like some of the more. I know it's lazy, like, but some of the more intense exercises, like, I just tend to like shy away from because like it's unlike the gym. I just don't feel as motivated at all to like actually do the exercises. Like I don't feel like I want to challenge myself. So I kind of just do like a comfy few exercises, like sit ups, like a plank, press ups, squats. But like outside of that, not that much. I don't know about you guys.
yeah. I mean, personally, I've been doing push-ups. Obviously, me and Raj, we're in like a little group chat. We talk about push-up. We talk about anything really. But I'll be doing you do diamond push-ups like that. Your arms
Yeah,
on the floor. Um,
yeah, yeah.
then you got wide arm push-ups where your arms are like wider out.
Yeah, I like the military style ones where you
Yeah,
keep them like close like
proper
that.
close. I don't do them ones
Those,
too fair.
mate, those are they feel so nice. I've not tried any other one. Like I used to sort of go between like wide and diamond, but now I've literally just stuck to this one just because you can really feel it like
In your
back up
triceps.
in your triceps, like, and your forearms. Just really feel it. But I don't imagine that it's probably as much for your chest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, diamond ones for me are the best for your chest because I just feel the burn like there, probably like, roughly there on your chest with the diamond ones.
Yeah, yeah,
And obviously, well, me and Raj recently talked about these bicep ones. I think you have to hand your hand backwards, is it, Raj, or something?
Yeah, you got. Well, it's not backwards. It's like you got them side. I think you got 'em sideways, and then you gotta like push yourself. It's really difficult. It's like diamond, but it's like
that's
it's
weird. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I
it
only saw it the other
hurts. It
day, and
hurts.
it obviously just bicep ones only. So instead of doing the
That's pretty
back of the
sick.
tricep, it's your bicep, yeah.
Yeah, no. I've been looking for. Well, I mean, I've got dumbbells which I curl, but I find that I don't know. I think it is just this environment thing. I just don't have the motivation to do it when I'm in my room. Like in the gym, I could literally just do them forever, but now I just don't care anymore. So I think I just find press ups quite because I just get my headset on and it's just like
Yeah.
pump away at them. But so maybe I might give those bicep ones a try, to be honest, just to see what it's like.
Yeah, but well, I remember you saying in the I think it was well, I was watching the first podcast back. You
Oh yeah,
mentioned about fitness, how people are struggling to actually do home workouts because they're in the environment where it's like usually a chill environment. Like when you go to the gym, you know you're gonna work out. Whereas at home, you have so many options. You could like watch TV, you can chill, you can eat instead of actually force yourself to do that workout. It's just all about that
yeah,
discipline, isn't it? It's that self-discipline.
yeah. That's the thing. But like for me, it's I don't know, it's tricky because it's so easy when you're at home to just sort of say like, oh, I'm going to skip a set or I'll skip a few reps. And then it just sort of like mounts up to this point where you're like, oh, I'm just going to like, take a sit down and you just don't get back up because the TV's on or because you're already in your room or whatever, or because you want to go have a shower. But when you're at the gym, it's different because you're literally in this zone that is designed for purpose only. You pick up the weights and you're like, right, when I'm at the gym, I'm gonna do my set, and I'm never like in the middle of a set at the gym, and I'm like, oh, you know what, I might just skip a set because it's just like, you're there for the purpose.
Yeah,
You're actually driven to complete it because that's the environment you're in.
yeah. I know Raj has been missing the gym as well. He's
I hate not going to the gym. I used to go like I used to be so addicted. I'm not so. I think I am still addicted. I go like 6 days a week to the gym. Literally
Yeah,
six
damn.
days a week. It's ridiculous, but like
How long
yeah,
do you sort of stay for?
I I used to do an hour, but it went up to like an hour and 40 because I had a personal
What?
trainer. I had a personal trainer, and we were doing like he would no, because obviously I had a lot of problems with stretching, and like my legs would like ache and my arms would hurt. So I'd do a lot of stretches. I would do stretches before at the gym and then after as well because I would want to
Shit.
make sure that my body's okay. Like I used to have when I did my first session, I had like back problems from doing one of the exercises. I can't remember what it was, but he gave me like so many like different stretches because he was wanted to be careful. But I didn't want to go to a physio and pay like £30 or something because you
Yeah.
literally but he just gave me so many stretches, and after that, I made it like my prime goal: stretch before the gym and then stretch after the gym, and
So I mean,
easy.
to be honest, that's gonna be good advice. Like, I'm quite lazy. I sometimes like I usually warm up. Always do a warm up set, but I've never like devoted a larger chunk of time to just literally warming up my body or stretching. And I've definitely never done stretches afterwards, which is, obviously if you want to like properly look after yourself, it sounds like you've given the best advice, to be honest, because it's
Yeah.
always better to be like safe than sorry.
Yeah, well, it's like at school where obviously in PE we're forced to do a warm up and we'll always have to do a cool down. It's just that's like what we've been sort of engraved into our heads from PE.
Yeah.
That is the healthy way to do it. But I guess, like you said, people get lazy and just pump. That's how injuries occur, doesn't it? You just go straight into the gym, full force.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
yeah, you pop the
if I was
bicep,
going
like
if I was going into the gym and like really, trying to hit max reps on everything every time without warming up, then obviously I would be in trouble. But I guess it works for me because I'm not like, I'm not trying to become a bodybuilder, and I'm not trying to like bulk ridiculously hard or anything. Like I'm just trying to like do what's challenging, but also like within my comfort zone. So it's nothing too crazy. So just like a quick warm up set is enough. But I guess if you're going for like a more intense program, or if you've got like a quite a big goal and you're sort of timed maybe within a time restriction, you want to do stuff like warming up or like stretching, just because it's gonna make sure your body's 100% healthy throughout the whole time scale.
yeah. Talking about goals, obviously we all have different goals. For me, like just getting like a general sort of fitness physique, not like I don't want to be like bodybuilder style. I just want to be like just generally healthy. I don't want
Yeah.
like to be absolutely ripped or anything like that. Just like a bit, because obviously I'm on the scale of I'm closer towards underweight than average or overweight, sorry. So I just want to
Sure.
get more in that sort of like average for my height. So I'm trying to just put on a bit more body mass.
Okay. So what's your like? So your straight up goals, and then what you're doing to achieve that.
So actual
Like, have you
goal.
got a strict goal? Like, oh, I want to be,
Oh
7
yeah,
inches.
yeah. So by the end of the year, I want to at least hit 12 stone. At the moment, I range from like
What's 12 stone in kilos? Actually,
yeah,
I'll just look it up.
probably like 70 something, maybe 80, 81, 82.
76. Damn.
76, okay.
How tall are you again?
6'4".
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
So
Is that average then? Is that average?
yeah, that's around bang in the middle. Like it's between 12 and
Okay.
12 and a half. Like pretty. I'm just judging off the BMI. Whether that's like legitimate or
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
is up for discussion. But
I mean, it's not like it's not going to be like totally wrong, is it? It's
no, of course not.
a lot of evidence behind it and that kind of shit. So
Yeah. So obviously my goal is to at least gain another. I'm on around 11 and 11 and a quarter, so like 11.25 stone. Um, that's obviously not the met. It's like 11 and a quarter right now. I want to gain another like 3/4 of a stone. Get to around 12 stone. And for me, the hardest part, and I always preach this, the hardest part is eating for me. Like I usually eat like to the point where I feel sick, and it got too much the other week where I didn't even eat for most of the day because I just felt so sick from eating so much.
man, I've heard that from a lot of people who are like trying to bulk. It's just some of them like the obviously like the more intense ones. So the more intense trainers or like pros that do properly shred and bulk every year. So they get their stomach used to one set of food and instantly they're giving it so much more than it needs. They literally just say like overeating and feeling like you just got to get used to the feeling that you're full. But that seems like I don't know, that sort of like that walks like a thin line for me between like keeping your body and your mind healthy and sort of pushing yourself too far. Because I feel like if you're constantly feeling too full or like bloated, you're putting your mental health in jeopardy. And then like a lot of the time, mental health has a massive effect on physical health and vice versa, obviously.
Yeah, obviously that's true. You can see with like eating disorders where people I get body shamed and stuff. Either like you're too skinny or too fat. People obviously stop eating or start eating more just from like comments from personal people or other people. Sorry, and that like you said, that's mental health. Like people flooding so many opinions at you, and you letting them sort of take control of your body in a way. And that's
Yeah.
where also I've seen people that happen to people. I haven't experienced it myself, but I've seen that happen to people. It's quite scary, really, because
It's just so easy, isn't it? Because
yeah,
like
yeah,
being talking from the shoes of someone who like he's just gonna fling like a mindless insult at you, they might just like it might to them it probably means literally nothing. Like it's literally just, in the moment they might be in a little bit of a spat with you or whatever, and then they just they just call you fat, or they just say like, oh, you skinny, something like just
Yeah, yeah,
literally just like a small demeaning comment. And to them it's literally nothing. They forget about it next second, and then for you that's properly stuck with you because it probably a lot of people who are less self-confident have like that just sort of makes them like it sort of makes them think that they are like it really gets to them. Do you know what I mean?
no, I
Like
get you. Yep.
it's quite easy if you're not self-confident for someone else's words to be adopted as your own mindset. So like suddenly you're like, holy shit, I am really skinny, and then you sort of like start obsessing over it. Or if you say someone says, oh, you're really fat, and then you're suddenly like, holy shit, I am really fat, and it's so easy to like pick out parts of yourself which you don't like,
Yeah,
and then just basically just go to the extreme to try and change it, or it just has like a massively bad influence on you.
yeah. So obviously, Raj, you been through a nice little journey. Uh,
Just a small journey.
I mean, small for you maybe, but obviously big from the outside. You want to sort of
Yeah,
like delve a
definitely.
little bit into like I think it was this time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was literally around this time, like maybe like 20th. I don't know the exact day, but it just started. I think it started last year, April. To be fair, it started February when I wanted to like when I watched a lot of YouTube. Then I was like, I still watch it now. But I watched a lot of YouTube on like people doing like so many of the body transformation videos and stuff like that. And then I talked to you and Morgan about like fitness and stuff. And then I got into the gym. I just started off with a lot of cardio. I started doing cardio and cardio and cardio. And then you told me about one of your mates, Stephen, who lost weight through only having like one meal a day and then relying just off snacks.
Yep.
So that's what I started off with, which is not the most like healthiest route. Like I wouldn't advise anyone to do that. But that is literally how I started off. And then I just like I just kept pushing my way through it. I just kept going to the gym, and then I changed my program. I had like because obviously I go to like a really nice gym, but I had different instructors, and then I had a personal trainer. And by the way, I didn't have a personal trainer for that long. I did like 5 sessions, and it was pretty expensive. So all I got was knowledge and experience from him. Like not experience, but just knowledge from him. And I think by the end of it, obviously I lost £100 by this year. So like not no, I mean so I lost. Well, I got the poster. But I lost 17 kilos by the end of December. 17.4. I think it says on the poster.
Are you mad?
No,
17.4.
17.6 kilos and 7.9% body fat. Um,
What the
which got
fuck?
me member of the month. A lot of people on my Twitter will know this because I posted it on Twitter literally instantly as soon as I got the member of the month because I really wanted it. Everyone had it. But yeah, no, it's just from it all started off from doing that one meal a day, and then obviously I didn't say about Spenny and Morgan's like daily WhatsApp chat. Like diet was the hardest thing for me because I love to eat. I love eating,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it was just a mixture of diet and fitness, but I felt diet was the hardest part. I think diet's the most hard. I think that's the hardest part for anyone who's really big and wants to lose a lot of weight. But you don't want to do it the most unhealthiest way, which I did. But it
yeah.
worked out in the long run. But
Man,
yeah,
that is crazy. I'm honestly so impressed. Holy shit. That is mad. That is
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like, I think diet in general is the hardest part of fitness. Like, it's so hard. It's so easy to go to the gym and do exercise relative to all hours of the day, restraining yourself, going to the effort of buying healthy ingredients or making healthy ingredients, or even if you want to gain weight, go to the effort of making extra meals. Like it's so difficult to keep yourself within that strict regime.
no, no, definitely. I think with me, I was just really lazy. Like I'm still lazy now. I was really lazy with what I wanted to eat, and that's why I just did the easy route. I just took a meal out. I took a meal out of my day. So like instead of waking up in the morning and eating breakfast, I would wake up in the morning and I wouldn't eat breakfast, and I wouldn't eat till 12 o'clock. I would like it's like a fast almost, but
Yeah,
not obviously a fast. But I would just cut out a meal and I'd eat for lunch, and I'd still eat bad stuff for lunch. Like I would still have unhealthy stuff, but not crazy unhealthy stuff. What I used to have, like fast food and stuff. I cutted fast food, and most important thing, I cutted was soft drinks. I had no soft drinks, literally no Coke, Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper was my weakness. I stopped all of that. I just drank water.
That's
And
mad.
now recently I've got into coffee now, which Svenny told me about that. I
Yeah.
love coffee now. But I think I love coffee because I'm just sick of water. I mean, who would be sick of water for a year as well? But
Yeah,
I feel like I
literally.
did have some cheat drinks. I mean, I did have a bit of sparkling water, which is not
That's
really
not
bad,
really a
but
treat drink. Yeah, that's not.
yeah, a bit of lime, like a lime cordial, like a
That's
thing with
fine, bro. That's
sparkling water.
calm. Yeah.
Yeah, besides that, it's weird because when you see like people like promote fitness and weight loss, they I feel like they make it look so impossible. Like I don't know, they don't show the realistic way of what you need to do. You literally just need to eat less and just go to the gym more. Like that is literally what it is.
Yeah,
But obviously, eat less in the right way, like in the right format. Like eat the right stuff. Like don't eat the stupid stuff which people do eat. Like but yeah, I just don't think people promote it well. I don't know, like, because
yeah,
I always see a lot of comments on like YouTube videos saying, "Oh, how are you so like buff? How are you so like thinking like that? How have you lost all this weight?" Like, I don't know. Like now that I think of it, it's not as difficult, but obviously anyone would say that once they've done it. But I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult, but you just gotta push through it. I think.
for sure. Actually, one thing I'm curious about is so like when you started going to the gym, what was the sort of rate of progression like? Like, did you notice quite quickly, or was it quite a slow thing where you realize, you could tell that your endurance or your stamina when you were doing your cardio exercises was getting better?
I think I think I know. To be fair, I didn't notice well. I feel like what I did is that I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot of pictures, and I would just see. I was very like keen on knowing how well I did, so I would weigh myself so much, and I would see how much I was going down in weight, and then I wouldn't notice anything in the mirror because like you're losing weight, but you can't see it as well. Like if that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah, no, 100% know. I know,
But I
yeah.
noticed my weight go down so much, and obviously all the instructors like they did their like checks on me as well to see how much was going down. Because obviously like some of them actually did say like you're losing weight a lot quicker than people like, and I was just like really. But no, I think what it was is that I didn't focus too much on my look, even though I kind of did. I don't know, it's kind of contradicting myself, but I don't know. It's just I don't really know what to say on it. To be fair.
No, it's cool. No, I was literally just curious because
Like,
I think one of the things that I struggle with mainly with cardio is like my motivation drops off if I don't see improvements happening. Like I try and stick to it like consistently. Like so, for example, I've literally only been running for like 2 weeks, so I've done about like 6 runs or something. I'm good, not that many at all. But I am just like I don't know. I think it's just my personality. I just really, really like. I really want to see what I'm doing has like an impact, and if it doesn't, then it just it puts me off and it annoys me. So I'm just
yeah.
sort of wondering what it was like for you. Obviously, starting at a massive disadvantage of just being a heavier weight and having to work against that must have just been crazy.
If I was to redo it, the one thing I would say is I wouldn't do cardio. I what I did was I did purely cardio for a certain point, and then I got told by people that I shouldn't do cardio. I should do I should do dumbbells. I should do what are the things I should do? Dumbbells, like deadlifts and all sorts of cables. I was meant cables as well. I should be doing more of that because that burns weight as well. And that burns body fat as well. And I didn't do that. So if I was to redo it, that's what I would do. Because obviously I got into that a bit later, and that's where I felt like I started like really progressing with losing fat. Because all I would do was just cardio. Like I would do just cardio, and that's not. I don't think that's good though. But I feel like people like me when I would go to the gym, I would just see the opportunity just to use cardio because I was so big, and I feel like some people relate to me in that aspect because when you go to the gym and you see someone big, like a lot of big people like me wouldn't just go straight onto like a dumbbell or they won't do like deadlifts because they see their weight and they're like, do you know what I mean? I feel like it like puts them off. And that it put me off because I would go and I would just go straight to the treadmill. I'd go straight to the treadmill, and that was wrong with me. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done was should have spoke to someone way sooner about what I can do to learn to lose fat and gain muscle. But instead, I would just go on the treadmill. So if I was to redo it, what I would do is I would do literally as many stuff in the gym as I could. I would do a mixture of everything. I would do a mixture of cardio. I would do more weights. I would do way more ton weights and cables, and just learn a lot more about that at first but I just did the complete opposite. It still works out for you in the end, but I don't know. I would advise way different to what I did if I was to redo it. That's for sure.
That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
obviously the whole when people think of weight loss, they just think of cardio and diet. They don't actually think of what Raj said, like weightlifting and stuff like that. And it's cool to see sort of what's the word? An insight from someone who's actually been through it to say, hold on, no, the sort of norm here of, or the idea of losing weight shouldn't just be cardio. It should be all three at once. You know, diet, cardio, and weightlifting. It's just a good balance of all three of them.
No.
I think the main thing, obviously, is that you know that now, and the knowledge that you have now is like so powerful that you can. I think it's crazy that you've changed your body already, and you can still do it whenever you want because you have all the knowledge. You've done it already. You've done the hard part of doing that first step and sustaining it for over a year. Now it's just the fun part of like gaining weight and just messing around with new techniques
I
and
wouldn't
stuff.
say fun part. There's a lot more. Like, I mean, putting on muscle is going to be the hardest thing.
Yeah,
I
of
know
course.
right now.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be the fun part, as in start to see even more improvements, as in like towards your physique that you're trying to achieve. So you're going to get even
Oh, yeah.
closer and closer every day, which is
Definitely,
in my opinion fun.
I feel more confident in my appearance I do now than I did before. Like I don't want to brag, but the compliments that I get now is like absolutely ridiculous. Like some people ask me that, are you ill or something? You've lost so much weight. Like what?
Yeah.
Like the compliments, it really like that motivates me. Like it's crazy good for me. Definitely.
So when you were in the gym, obviously starting off, what was your main motivation? Because obviously it's hard. Realistically, it's hard. If someone's at
Well, when
this,
I first joined.
yeah. So
or-
let's say you're at 248 pounds, right?
Yeah.
That's huge, right? What's your motivation from starting there and going through it all? How
Well,
do you wake up every day and say, right, I'm in gym? What was the mindset that you had back
Are
then?
you asking when I first joined the gym, what was my goal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, like the first couple of weeks, like, how did you keep pushing yourself every day?
Oh, so you're saying when I got into actually like
Yeah.
losing the weight?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did I even like? I don't. To be fair, I actually know what it was. It was watching his video. God, I forgot his name. Ethan's video. You know Ethan Bazinga's video, the body transformation video. Because I watched a lot of his YouTube channel videos, and he was big for so long.
Yeah, he was
and
huge.
His weight loss was like amazing. Like it was ridiculously amazing. And then I spoke to you and Morgan obviously about weight loss, and I feel like you guys pushed me, like not pushed me, but you gave me like the right advice and like, oh, do this, don't do that, you know, don't eat this, don't do that. I feel like just there and then it just kept building, and I just kept thinking to myself that I wanted to keep on going, because obviously last year I didn't say this before, but last year I wanted to apply to the Metropolitan, and I saw that the requirements were like completely crazy. Not crazy, but like they were like out of my way as well. And I considered like the army as well at one point as well. But obviously you have to be so fit and like healthy and good that for me to do it then. I did apply as well last year, but I backed out last minute because I didn't want to do it. I was just not ready for it. But I think that kind of motivated me, even though I haven't really thought about it as much this year that I should have. But I think just thinking about later on in your life, like what some of the consequences are of overeating and being obese. Like my family's had like a lot of history with like obesity, diabetes, and stuff like that, and that scares you when you think about it. Like you don't want to go through that. So obviously it's better to think now. But obviously I have that regret of not doing this ages ago, because I had the opportunity to do this a lot long ago, and I would have saved time. But obviously nothing you can do now. All I can do right now is just keep trying to push on. But I think just seeing like the health conditions and seeing YouTube and just like seeing that maybe a career is something that I want to do. Like I don't know, fitness is like something like a part of me now that I want to do. Just got into it.
So it's almost like you use a mixture of fear and like sort of opportunity to push you through the hard times in a way.
Yeah, it's probably not a good mixture, but
No, but I say
I
no, but I think that's normal. Like a mixture, rather than having just fear, you have like opportunity as well as fear. It's like two things push you. Like the more things push you to do it, the better, in my opinion.
yeah, I guess I mean, I don't see the harm in much fear, but that kind of fear was like, it was ridiculous. Like, I would think about it too much about like the health conditions and stuff. So I guess it motivated me in a way, which is kind of good. Yeah.
It's crazy. But obviously, I remember you said you obviously took lots of pictures
Yeah.
when you were losing weight. And the only thing that's scary about that is obviously you start to become addicted to the numbers that you're seeing on the scales.
Yeah, my
And
instructor
so
told me that. Yeah.
yeah, and so obviously you're going to the gym and you're every like was it every week or every couple of weeks you're measuring yourself?
I would, to be fair, I would be honest. I would be. I would do it every day. I would weigh
Exactly.
myself
So
every day.
if you got to the point where like you'd be so addicted to that number changing that you'd be just measuring yourself every day rather than focusing on like the goal. You'd be focusing on like a little increment every day.
I
Um,
still do that now. No, I don't do it every day, but I do it every week now. I do it every week. I feel like the numbers are really important, even though even a professional trainer has told me that no, you shouldn't look at the numbers. I still look at the numbers. Like I want to make sure my body fat's down way lower, and I feel like numbers motivate me in a way, which I don't see as a bad thing. But obviously, yeah, looking too much towards the numbers is not a good thing, and yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was me. But I don't know. It's just numbers are just. I see numbers as a motivation right now for me. Like, get that down, get that down, get that down. But yeah,
yeah,
that's how it
well, the
works.
only scary thing is because I've been through it myself. Is like when you get so addicted to that progress that when you start, obviously the numbers are going to slowly slow because gaining, like you said, gaining muscle is harder. So the numbers are going to start like being weird because you're going to be gaining like muscle, going to be gaining weight there. And so like in the back of your head, you're going to be like, oh shit, I'm getting fat because you're gaining on that number that you have right now. But in
Mm.
reality, you're actually just gaining muscle. And that's why you got to be. I think you just got to be careful. It's the same with me as well. Like where you got to be careful where you don't like just just ride that number to death. You know, like you don't want to like you want to use it as a little gauge. You don't want to like put your whole fitness sort
I
of
know,
basis on it.
I know what you mean, Ben. I think it's good. I think it's good as an encouragement, but it's like a double-edged sword. So when the progress is good, all it does is help you. But if you started to see a dip, or if you even saw like a plateau, or even worse, like a decline in progress, then I think that could really negatively impact, especially someone like I think I share the same sort of same sort of mindset as Raj. Like I really like the numbers. Like, just it really does help you, especially, you get a real concrete proof that there is improvement, right?
Yeah.
What's not helpful about that? But then, as soon as you sort of see something not going the way you think, like it can really act. It can act as a catalyst for even worse emotions. Like you could think, what's the point? Why should I just keep carrying on? Like, you know what I mean? Like when it should really not have that much of an impact, it really can as soon as it's on the other foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
yeah, that's the scary thing about obviously just this progress and being addicted to it because we've obviously all been through it at some point. Maybe not. Maybe I'm speaking on my behalf, but I certainly have been through it where you get so addicted to let's just say these numbers and whatever I'm doing, and you're so focused on that you just forget about the main goal, and that's where, like you said, double-edged sword becomes dangerous. You've got to be wary of it. I think it's about your awareness, like being aware of that double-edged sword in a way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the progress. So I think losing £100 in a year is insane, like
Yeah, that is
absolutely
genuinely crazy.
insane. Because
Genuinely
just to
crazy.
think about like the amount of people who try and give up, and you like stuck to it and went through it, whatever your reasons were, like you had your motivation, you still did it. You're here now, £100
Mm.
lighter, and still going. Like that's insane. Like ah, it's good to see basically. It's motivation for me as well, just because it like seeing someone progress so much in their own body is it's just something awesome to see, especially when you know them closely. So
No, but I feel like I don't know. Like now that I've done it, I don't feel as achieved as I should be just because of the fact that I've done it and I felt like what was I thinking? This isn't as difficult. Like why was I making such a fuss out of losing weight? All I had to do was just cut back on all fast foods and all soft drinks. But now that
yeah,
I think of it, I miss a lot of my foods. Like I used to work at Subway, obviously, I used to work at Subway and I would pig out. I would get a free. I would be allowed a free Subway, and I think I gained a lot of my weight from Subway, from fast foods.
a hundred percent, yeah.
I think fast foods are literally the worst place. I don't. Even though we love them so much, I honestly, a part of me thinks that fast food should never be opened. Like they literally motivate you to get fat and get obese. Like
Yeah, mate, they are toxic places, isn't it? It is like the ultimate money making scheme, though, isn't it? Because you just become addicted to the food. Like it just tastes so good, it's so easy, and it's relatively cheap. It's exactly what you're saying, man. Like it shouldn't really be allowed, but it's one of
I
those
feel like
things.
it's worse than like like alcohol. Like I feel like it's worse than alcohol and cigarettes. I feel like
It,
people like, especially in America, like I feel like people are dying from like
they are,
this.
yeah. It's just as bad, yeah.
100%.
Like I don't know, it's just ridiculous.
It is. It's like any other addiction, really. Like, 'cause people do get addicted to it. Their body craves that, burst of endorphins that they get from eating a Big Mac or, you know, having a Subway sandwich. It's so easy for your body to get hooked on that, and then it's so easy to just sort of like just keep going on doing the same thing. Because especially when it's not something like drugs or alcohol or cigarettes, which is frowned upon by a large amount of people, or is just generally seen as and accepted as an unhealthy hobby to have. Fast food, people just think, oh, it's just eating. All it is food.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that bad, but man, really is. It's a killer under a guise. Like, it's crazy dangerous.
Mm.
I just find it scary how it's so easy accessible. It's just like alcohol. It's easy accessible, and if you don't have that discipline, it's like if you don't have that discipline, you're just gonna get obese. And like you said, people are so deluded to the idea of getting obese that they just accept it as their normal body weight. Like you said, Raj, like it was the norm, wasn't it? Like eating fast food like what 3 times a week was the norm for you, right?
Way more than that. Like,
Okay.
honestly, way
Like
because we have a local chip shop as well. So like it was way more than that. It was like maybe 4 to 5 times a week,
okay,
Damn.
and then
So like
obviously,
almost once a day.
literally.
Damn.
but then
It's just
obviously
so
you got
easy though.
soft
It's so
drinks as well.
convenient.
Yeah,
So
no,
cheap
no, no.
as well. It's so cheap as well. Like
Especially when you're like obviously for certain people it's like even easier. So like, for example, if you've got like a really tight schedule, so if you work long hours, in a minimum wage job or in like a low paying job, and you don't get that long of like a food break, and you just happen to work next to a McDonald's or something, what is so much harder to make that effort to go out of your way to, like, in the morning, either make a healthy lunch for yourself or go and buy a healthier, like, lunch meal deal, which is still tricky as well. Like, most meal deals are generally quite rubbish, but it would be so much easier just going to the McDonald's. So especially for some people, I feel like it's just too too easy. It's too easily accessible for them.
no, definitely. I'm doing my dissertation on nurses, and it's kind of is linked to it. But basically, I watched it was on this morning news, and it was a nurse who was classified as obese, and because of that, she had a lot of problems with the NHS and doing her daily activities. But she argued, saying that the NHS are at fault at this because they don't provide her a break because obviously my like subject is like nurse retention, and because of that, she's not able to like do her job well, and she's now classed obese. But she argues that she doesn't get given a break because there's so much work to be done, and because of that she has to go for like a quick snack. She has to have something sugary like a Snickers bar. She would have something really unhealthy to keep her going throughout the day, and that makes her obese. That she's obese now because of that. So I think that people in employment, people working, they're not even getting their breaks, and because of that they're getting obese. So I feel like people, in one way, employers are really bad, and people like if you're not getting a break, yeah, I wouldn't be working. Like why am I not be? Why you not taking your break? Do you know what I mean? I feel like people don't have
100%.
that grit on them with like, that sort of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's two problems, isn't it? Firstly, like, NHS problems. So, like, obviously we all know NHS staff are overworked, and they work such long hours, especially now. Like, that must be mental. But
Yeah.
like, also, like you say, people who are literally because they're working for a living and they've got no other option. It's so they have to turn to stuff like those quick snacks, or they have to turn to stuff like fast food, which you go in, and you come out 5 minutes later with a full meal. Like, so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, just from my experience, not trying to compare my job to NHS at all, but just like my experience, I'm on my feet the whole time I'm working. Maybe like 10 minutes I'm not. I'm doing
Saving lives.
saving lives. Nah, I'm more like
At the bar.
literally, literally. So obviously, I'm doing waiting, bartending, whatever at events like weddings and stuff. And sometimes, I'll be honest, I don't get a break. I'm working 12, 14 hours with zero break.
Bro,
And
that's
so
the problem
obviously
with these.
I
It's
don't
the
get
problem with these
food.
like things.
So I'm walking like, let's say like average like 12,000 steps a day and not eating. So obviously for me it's even harder to put on weight because like, if I'm working like 3-4 times a week, and I'm doing like shifts like that. Obviously that's like maybe an extreme. Like the average is probably like a nice 10-hour shift, maybe a cheeky 15-minute break, you know?
Mate, but like I know what you mean because that is technically illegal, isn't it? Because
Oh, 100%, yeah, 100% legal.
so that is it a 0 hour contract?
Yeah, it is 0, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I feel so many 0 hour contract jobs are like, which are like, obviously, they're looking for students to employ because they know that students need the money, they'll work for the lower wages, and they won't complain when there's a break, like when there's not a break. Or just like anyone who's sort of turning to that kind of job because that's what they literally need that and they don't
Yeah.
have another option. That has to be, they'll accept not having a break because there's no other solution.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm still working is because obviously I enjoy the people I work with. I enjoy the experience I'm giving people. Like at the end of the day, I think one of my mates said this to me. Like you're making someone's best day, like the best day it can be. Like you are providing someone's wedding day to be the best day it can be. That's like the mindset you gotta have. And so, yeah, I'm sacrificing a bit of food to make someone's day better. And yeah, obviously I'm not gonna be doing this forever, but at the moment it's just something that fits with my lifestyle that I want at the moment because it's providing me like more opportunities and other things that I want to do. It gives me like the flexibility. I think that's what the word I'm looking for. Um, but I can see it has been having a detrimental impact on my health because obviously, like I said, I'm not eating as much, and even when I do eat, right, we only get leftovers, yeah. So sometimes we do events, there's no leftovers, yeah. So I eat
Yeah.
nothing. Like maybe I'm eating a bit of bread, and that's where it
S-
becomes like fuck, like
Mate, that's literally what I mean. Like, so your schedule means that so you enjoy working there, right? Because you're willing to make a sacrifice for that lack of break because you enjoy it, and
yeah.
because for whatever multitude of reasons you picked. But similarly, you're working towards gaining weight, yeah? And this schedule, so when you work, you're basically sacrificing progress.
Yeah, I have
And that
noticed that
shouldn't be a
off.
thing. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That
no,
that
I get
shouldn't
you.
where you work it should not be a defining factor on your weight loss journey or like your weight gain journey or your fitness journey. Like it should have no mention into it. But because your work has those no breaks, you're literally sacrificing because you don't get to eat. Like that's
Yeah,
pretty
no,
crazy.
it's true. But then the argument is, let's say I work a 9 to 5. I'm sat in an office 8 hours a day, sat down instead of moving around. Like, at the end of a shift, my legs hurt. Like, I'm getting leg muscle out of it. Whereas if I'm sat in an office chair doing this, how, if anything, like, how's that? It's like,
Yeah, but then you're also just straight up just burning calories, right?
yeah, true, true.
I get what you mean. It's for sure. Like I mean, I guess actually it depends which way of the journey you want to go.
Yeah,
Like,
of course, yeah, it makes sense.
but it's the same with anything really where you don't have time to sort of maintain your own sort of health. So like any job should afford you at least an opportunity, a lunch
Yeah,
break to like either have a chance to make a healthier option for you for your benefit
yeah, agreed.
or provide you with the tools that allows you to.
Yeah, I mean, and also, if you think about it, like, the sleep I get is even worse.
Mate,
That's,
yeah, your sleep schedule.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, but anyways, going back to health and fitness.
I mean,
I mean,
sleep is
it
a
does,
huge
it
part
is
of health, fitness,
health,
mate.
yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like for me, sleep is a weird one because everyone has their own. Well, I found everyone has their own sort of optimum sleep.
100%.
And for me, I just felt like this is the best time to be testing it, and I've been testing it. As in the time I go to sleep and the length of sleep. So recently, not recently, I'll say like since March, so like, geez, it's nearly May. Like end of March, start of April, I was obviously sleeping. I had like a nice schedule. I was going to bed at like 11, 12, waking up around 7 a.m., 6:37.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I felt fine. Like that's a 7 hour sleep for me I found that is my like peak. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Anything more than 7 hours, I start to get like weird dreams, and I feel even more groggy when I wake up. So it's
How
like,
could that be though? Because surely you're not having like dreams whilst you know, you only have dreams in that deep sleep REM state, and
yeah.
you don't
So
really have.
so so what happens is since I tested
That's
sleeping
really
loads,
long.
right? Let's say I go to bed like midnight. I wake up. My body would wake up by itself around like 7, 8, right? And I'd
Yeah, yeah.
force myself to go back to sleep. And it's during that time where I re-force myself to go back to sleep. It's almost like I enter like an instant REM sleep. So these dreams like are really
No, I
weird.
do, I do know what you mean. Like sometimes if I have a weird sleep, I wake up and I've had like a night of just, you know, when you have like a night and it just feels like a fever dream because all you're remembering like tiny fragments of waking up or just having really vivid dreams or just having lots of dreams. Well, I don't know if that's just me, but
No,
sometimes I
that's
have
me.
those
Yeah, yeah.
nights, man, where you just think, what the fuck has that night been like? It just feels like really surreal. You wake up and you don't feel well rested. You don't feel like you've had a good night's sleep, and it just feels pretty rubbish all around.
Yeah. No, I've experienced that. I experienced that today as well. Because obviously, it also depends on like where you're sleeping. Because I was reading somewhere that when you are sleeping in a certain environment for so long, let's say your bed, your single bed in your house or double bed, whatever, in your house, in your room, your body
Yeah.
becomes acclimated to that environment. So whenever you sleep somewhere else, it's almost like on guard. It's not fully 100% able to sleep
Mate,
to its maximum.
I was 100%. I could tell you that for a fact is true because I slept in the same bed on the same mattress in the same room in the same house for 16 years, and then
Yeah.
as soon as I moved out, like I'd wake up every morning for months afterwards, you know, just not sure where I was. I was literally just like woke up like, what the
Whoa.
fuck? Where am I?
Yeah, yeah,
And then I suddenly realized that my bedside table was not my old bedside table. I'd be like, fuck, I'm not even in their house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would just have I'd have pretty rough sleep. And especially now, like going back and forwards from like different uni accommodations, uni houses, and home. And like, I've got to go to two homes.
yeah,
Like, I'm literally sleeping or I'm sleeping in different places all the time now. So I'm a bit more used to it, but it still
yeah.
hits me like you do feel like you've got to be comfortable and in your sleeping zone, like your personal space.
100% agree. And with you, Raj, did you find that sleeping more or less helped you with sort of just gym in general, like gaining muscle? Do you find sleeping to be like a big factor for you?
I don't know. I think before, because obviously I used to game a lot, so my sleeping would be always like over the like moon. But I think ever since I started gym, I think I've like increased on my hours, like I think 1 or 2 hours extra, I think, on my sleep. So I think it does help in the long run with it, because I do get tired during the day, but I try not to have like a nap during the day, and I try to just sleep at night. But I think, yeah, I think it does help in the long run for like fitness. I think if you have a good amount of sleep, it energizes you in a way, like the next morning to, wake up and to do your fitness. Because obviously I don't do my fitness in the morning early. I do it like maybe at 11, 12. So I feel like it having a long sleep, not too long sleep, but having a good amount of sleep, yeah, I think it helps you for
What's
fitness,
a good amount
definitely.
for you?
Well, I mean, for me, I don't know if it's right, but
No, there's no right or wrong. It's just it's whatever your
I
body
have
needs.
between 8 and 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
That's what I go for, yeah. And I still feel tired, but obviously I work 2 jobs. I have uni, and then I go to the gym as well. Obviously that stopped as well. But back then, oh yeah, 2 jobs and work, go to the gym and do uni. I think it took a lot out of me. So I felt like I needed that sleep because I would still feel tired during the day. So I would just say I would go to bed a little bit earlier than just having a good sleep, and it would help definitely.
Yeah, I guess it's because you're using your body in so many. You're using your brain, obviously, uni and work. And you're obviously going to the gym 6 times a week. So your body's like
Mm.
exhausted in every aspect possible. And so sleep it helps your body just recuperate and rejuvenate your muscles. So I'm
It's either
guessing you're
that or I
needing it,
take
yeah.
caffeine. I mean, caffeine's not a good idea though, is it though?
Yeah, but that's the sort of modern solution to tiredness. Caffeine's just shoved down everyone's throats,
Do
especially
you
in
guys
corporate.
actually think that caffeine makes you? Does caffeine actually like help you guys?
Yeah, 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 it
Yeah,
does. Yeah,
definitely
if
does.
you,
But I mean,
I've
like
noticed
Monster
it.
and stuff,
No,
like coffee.
a coffee definitely does for me.
I don't
See,
know about that.
I don't know, man. I feel like I've had, even when I've had like energy drinks, like if I've had to work a project like all night or whatever, and I bought an energy drink, I literally feel like that has made zero difference to me.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, it's probably the
I've
placebo effect, bro.
never,
You probably think,
no,
oh,
but
this is gonna
like
buzz me up. You drink it, and nothing
no,
happens.
but like even when I've had like coffee, like look, honestly, I barely drink coffee. I probably had it like, I could probably count the number of times I've had it on both my hands, but I, I still feel like I've never had a caffeine drink which is like really pushed away the tiredness, even for a short amount of time. Like I've never felt it really impact me. So I've always just sort of thought people like just sort of had it because they enjoyed it, or just because maybe just cause of the placebo, but not in the way Spencer was saying about the way it affected me, but the placebo thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a load of energy, and then you just feel like you do. Like I don't know.
I don't know. For me, I always feel coffee. I literally, if I drink, I had a coffee earlier. I feel it. Like I feel like a bit buzzed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I drink, like I said, I always drink like two, maybe 3 a day. I had 3 today. I always,
3 a day?
yeah,
Three's a bit. I don't know about three.
Woo,
yeah.
that's a
So
lot of
I have
caffeine.
one like usually in the morning ish, then like in the afternoon, and then sometimes I have an evening if I'm doing something busy in the evening.
Bro, that's mad.
Do you think?
I
But
literally have one a day.
yeah,
I
I
only
don't
have
know.
one.
I'm scared of caffeine, honestly. Like, I mean, that feels so hypocritical because I drink as a uni student. I kind of like, I guess you could call it binge drinking at some points, but I'm kind of scared of caffeine. Like, it just, I feel like people literally just do get addicted to it, and then it just,
Yeah,
especially like, it hurts you, obviously, physically. Like, it's not necessarily that good for you at all, but it also if you're like buying a coffee every day or whatever, if you're not buying a coffee, then like, I mean, fair enough, it's not that big of an impact. But I know people, who literally won't come into a lecture, or they won't start their day unless they've had like a Starbucks coffee, and they'll just crack through 2 of them a day, and that's literally like £10. Like, it's mad.
that's insane.
Like, it's a huge like punch to your wallet, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I only drink coffee that I have at home. You obviously buy a tub, Nescafe Gold Blend.
Instant coffee.
Yeah.
Is it instant?
Yeah, yeah. So
Alright.
me and my dad are wanting to get an actual coffee machine, like with beans.
Like a cafetiere, yeah.
Yeah, with beans, because mate, the
Wait, no,
coffee from
not
that is
cafetiere.
perfect. Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? Oh no, no,
No,
that's
no, no, no. That's like the thing that you press down with the
yeah, yeah,
coffee
I've got
pad.
that as well. That,
Yeah.
mate, I had something that was vile as well. No, very
Those are
good.
like for like those, artsy people who like to.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Barista Express machine, coffee machine.
Yeah, no, I've
Something
got.
that Barista
Well,
uses. That's what you call when you
yeah,
use it.
I think my mum's got one of them. Like, you just put the little pod in, and then
Oh,
you
you can do
press.
that. Yeah, yeah. But I'm talking about a bean one, so actual coffee beans.
That's those are sick. Those are the ones they have at work in like.
Yeah,
They're
yeah. But
sick.
they're
They're
obviously
Subway, to be fair, as well.
yeah, obviously a couple £100, so it's quite a big purchase. But the coffee you get out of that and the beans are just way more fresh, and you just make like it just improves the quality of it so much more.
To be fair, if you're having 3 cups a day, mate, I'd say it's probably a pretty valid investment.
Yeah, I mean, me and my dad probably have like 3 each a day, maybe 2 to 3 each a day.
That's crazy. Maybe it runs in. Maybe it's just like a.
No, yeah, but I
Like
can
a
control myself. It's not
heat.
like I mean, if I want, I can limit myself down to like 1,
Can
but
you?
going to 0, I can't do. I'll admit I can't do 0 at the moment. I'd have to slowly go to 1 to 0. I
So
can,
you actually feel like you have to have a coffee.
yeah, I know in the back of my mind if I want to stop drinking coffee, I have to ease out. I can't stop it completely. I'd have to go 1 and then 0. I can't go just 0.
So you'd be sat at your desk like almost like a smoker, just sort of like tapping away, just like, fuck, I need a coffee.
Yeah, it's more like I said this before. It's more like the warm drink. So if I had a hot chocolate instead, I'd be fine.
Why don't you just switch to tea for like a day to see how you
Because
feel?
tea is just as much caffeine. It obviously depends on the tea, but there's a
Does
lot.
it?
Yeah, it has a lot of caffeine in tea. Does.
Not as much though.
You'll be surprised.
Really?
Depend. What tea do you drink?
I don't know, like Yorkshire
Yorkshire
tea.
tea. Yorkshire tea's decent.
Yeah, Yorkshire tea would like be my go-to. That or like PG tips.
Oh, I don't think Yorkshire has a lot either.
Well, surely they can't
Oh,
be that.
so Earl Grey has 60 to 90 milligrams of caffeine. Jesus, that's quite a
In
lot.
Earl Grey, I'm not an old woman.
I mean, Dylan likes drinking them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, nah, we loved it.
Wait, how much is it? You said?
Yeah, so look, so the ones I drink, but per serving is around 80 milligrams to 100, right? And in a Earl Grey, it's the same amount. It's roughly the same.
Oh, hold up though, but I'm looking at just tea, like RT, right? It says here it's got 1 milligram of caffeine in.
Oh
And
yeah, you're
coffee,
fine. Yeah, mine will have
coffee
like
has
80.
like 26.
Wait, really? Mine is 80.
Well, I don't know, man. I guess it would depend on the brand. This is literally just like an instant coffee Google, so
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
never had a tea and thought, fuck me, I'm buzzing. Like, even though I said like I don't feel like I get affected by caffeine, but I've never Like I have tea like quite late, even at like sort of midnight just before bed. I'll just have like a nice warm tea. But don't know, I've never really felt
But
that.
no, but yeah. So I'm reading here. Tea leaves actually do contain more caffeine in coffee beans, but it's because the way we brew it, we lose most of the caffeine from um just we lose most of the caffeine from the tea leaves.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I'm just
mean,
reading here, so, which is I think it's crazy.
it's kind of a good thing,
Yeah.
probably.
Wow. Coffee. Uh, Yeah. If like I said, I couldn't like I said I couldn't cut coffee straight out. I'd have to ease out.
Do you think that's something you want to do, or do you just not care?
No, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Like if I start going to like 3, 4, I'll notice it and I'll stop. But it's
Yeah.
just like for me, like 2 a day is like calm. Like, it's not that bad.
It's that whole like like 9 to 5 work a trope, isn't it? Like have a coffee before the commute in, have a
Yeah,
coffee at the desk, then coffee for lunch, then a
yeah,
coffee
exactly.
in the
That's
afternoon.
a lot worse in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like more than two is a bit iffy for me. I wouldn't do that.
even though you're on that 3.
That was just today. Yesterday was two. The other days was two. It's just
Okay,
today because I had a podcast and be
was
more
today
energized.
literally the first?
No, I do it most times we have a podcast. I'll do it just to be more
Right.
energized for the podcast.
I get no. Fair enough. It's fair enough.
So we've probably done it 2 times this week.
All right.
But yeah, I am wary of it. So it'll be watched. Yeah.
Good, man.
We've been running for an hour, boys. Anything else to add? Do you wanna wrap this up?
Don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Any final points? That's what I'm looking for.
It depends what you want to talk about, mate.
Just final points on sort of fitness and weight loss. What message would you give to people in lockdown right now?
I can't speak for weight loss.
Just fitness. Let's say fitness in general in lockdown. What sort of motivation would you give someone, or words of wisdom to sort of get them to move, do something?
I don't know, mate. I feel like you have to conjure that up yourself.
What the
You
actual
got to find,
person?
yeah, like
Yeah.
you got to find your own motivation. It's like it depends. It varies person to person. It's like Raj says when he saw Bazinga's content, like that's something that inspired him to start. I feel like it's quite helpful when you're surrounded by people who are like promoting the message, or if you see people who do these body transformations or do the fitness videos. That's what like keeps me going sometimes. Like I'll just look at that one fitness YouTuber in the feed or whatever, or like it's quite weird. Like recently, I've been watching loads of like rock climbing professional his videos,
Oh yeah.
um, and just like so he like obviously he doesn't like work out in the same way that a bodybuilder would, but like he works out at a rock climbing gym like every day, and he's got crazy upper body strength. Like that obviously it's a totally different type of physique, but it also makes you think, like, oh, I'd like to be in that sort of place where I'm really really feel strong, and I feel like I've got I've really developed as much as I can. So I think that's kind of one thing that drives me. But I think you got to find something that you can aim for.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it'll be like you need to just set those daily goals. In my opinion, even if it's like 10 push-ups, just starting with the daily goals and hitting them gives you that feeling of accomplishment. And once you work off that momentum of accomplishment, you'll just keep going for the weeks, and it will just build it up, and you'll eventually get in that nice mindset of let's keep moving, let's keep getting healthy. And obviously, after a couple of weeks, you'll start seeing improvement, and that's also another motivating factor. So it's just for me, just setting those little daily goals at the start.
Hmm.
Mm.
What about you, VJ? What are you saying?
So no, I don't know. I think with me it was more of like seeing what other people had done and talking to like my friends of what I should do. But I feel like people who are like by themselves and don't really have that support. I think one thing I would advise is look online. Like there's so many resources. There's it's all for free as well. YouTube, like online. Just Google like how to lose weight, what to eat, what not to eat. I think it's just all mind over matter. I think I watched it on a news channel just saying how like these ladies were like really obese, but they were happy about their weight and they felt like they weren't overweight. I feel like it is literally mind over matter. If you want to lose weight, you can do it. It's all there for you to do. All you need to do is do it. It doesn't cost to lose weight. You can do it yourself. You could go out for a run and do that. But if you want to do it the most effective way, you could go to the gym, you could buy weights, and you could easily do it. I think it's literally mind over matter. And only if you want to do it, it's going to happen. I think that's the best advice I would give. If you want to do it, do it. The advice is there. Just go for it. I think that's the best thing. Yeah, I could say.
I like that.
Oh, actually, Spen, I was going to say, didn't I? Because I remember at the beginning of the video, I said I saw something which I found quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, so this is more for like, I guess that you'd say probably just general fitness, maybe putting on muscle, just sort of more thing. But I saw someone that was talking about this idea of intensity versus consistency. So, there's a lot of bodybuilders out there that promote this idea of, working until you've completely exhausted yourself, doing a
Yeah.
set to exhaustion, like pushing yourself to do heavier and heavier weights each time, like even if it's like a slightly bit more. I feel like that's a good, like I've heard that from a lot of people. I've been thinking about it a lot recently since this advice has come through, because this guy basically put forward this idea that if you train consistently, you're training better. Because the idea is if you train intense, right? So you do one day, you push yourself to your limit, yeah?
Yep.
The next day, you can't match what you did yesterday at all, could you? You wouldn't be able to
Yeah,
do
because
the
you burnt your
thing.
muscles out. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the whole point.
You're
Yeah.
gonna be sore. You'll be fine. You'll be lucky to do like half the amount, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day, you'll probably still be a little bit weaker than day one.
Yeah. 100%.
And then in the end of the week, so you've had like maybe 2 or 3 really fulfilling workouts, maybe not even totally fulfilling, but then the rest of the time you might have just had to rest.
Yeah.
Whereas if you work consistently, so you keep yourself in this area which is balanced between a challenge and you know comfortability. So you work. So if you challenge yourself too much, you'll be in a place of anxiety, right?
Yep.
So you'll probably be put off doing any more work because you're like, oh man, I can't be doing. I'm not lifting this well enough, or that kind of thing, or I'm not performing well enough. But then if you go too far below the challenge, then you'll just get bored, right? So there's this whole idea where if you train sort of consistently in this balance of anxiety and boredom, where you can find yourself like challenged but not too challenged, then your skill will increase steadily. So you could have one day where you go to the gym, you do a comfortable set, and you do loads of different comfortable sets, still like challenging, but you don't feel like you're totally like ruined after each set, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day you come back and you can do that exact same thing, and then the day after that you can come back and maybe even be better because you're not like totally destroying your muscles. You
You,
still have like that time to work, you have that time to repair overnight, and obviously no matter what you're doing you still need days off, right?
yeah. Yeah.
But the idea is that you can consistently put in more hours of training, so at the end of what, a year, you could compare to someone who's been doing intense training and say, yeah, you've been doing heavier stuff, you've been doing more intense stuff, but I've been working my body with weights for twice as long as you.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. This rings a bell. Like Joe Rogan or something. He had an NFL player come on the podcast.
Oh, was it? Okay, I don't know. I saw this from, it might have been that, I don't know, it was some guy, I can't
Yeah.
remember his name,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
was talking about, but it was so interesting. It was like, oh,
It,
okay, so you compare it, you've just, in terms of a really basic level, you've just spent more time training than the other person has.
yeah. But that obviously that only works if you stick to that consistency. Because obviously
Yeah,
you only go like, let's say, I think the statistic was like 60-70% of the time. You push like 67% rather than 100%.
sure.
And if you do that like doing that consistently, like 6 days a week, right? Maybe even
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah.
That you're not gonna get. You have 2 rest days. That's fine. But if you just do, if you get lazy and do 3 times a week, it's not as effective, obviously. So it's all
No,
about.
100%.
It's more about quantity over quality for that technique, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but
That's yeah.
I think
So
that's a cool approach because, like you said, there's always different approaches you can take to anything, really.
yeah, because I just feel like a lot of especially the social media bodybuilders nowadays are literally like, they are just bigging up this whole thing of intensity. More weights,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
less rep, more like
yeah,
max out the weight, do reps until failure, that kind of shit. Like it's properly like full on break your body, have a day to chill out. But then I don't know. I think maybe it'd be interesting to try stick to like a go 5 days a week, go do 6 days a week schedule, and just sort of stay within that comfort zone a little bit more.
Yeah, I might give that a go actually. Good shout.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
I've
gonna turn
enjoyed this.
banana. I've enjoyed it greatly actually. I found great inspiration
I might.
through Virage. I'm actually
Nice.
I'm gonna be stepping up. I'm gonna be doing that whole 5K thing. I'm gonna give it a go.
It's actually really fun. It's good. Like it pushes you definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I need that for sure.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Raj, coming on. Hope you had
No
a
worries, mate.
hope you had a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Hope
Man.
it was a
Thank you.
comfortable
you.
setting, comfortable environment.
It's all right. Yeah, it's good.
I'll take that. I'll take that. All right, we'll take what we get. Yeah. So next, I don't know when we're gonna be the next one.
Yeah, don't know.
Tuesday,
any
Thursday,
ideas?
either Tuesday or Thursday, because obviously Wednesdays are busy, I believe.
Sure. Where are we?
Yeah, we usually have quizzes on.
Oh, is that every week now?
I have a quiz on Wednesday, so I can't do
Okay,
Wednesday.
okay. All right, fair.
But yeah, I'm happy to do Tuesday and Friday or something like that. Mix it up whenever you're
Sure,
free.
sure.
Topic is gonna be. Should we say the topic or nah?
Wait, what is it?
It's what we talked about on
Oh,
the
you told
in.
me.
Yeah, we talked with the meme, the cat meme. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh, is that
Oh,
what we're talking about? I didn't
yeah, but
realize
that's
that
a
was.
whole topic. That's gonna be a whole. There's not. That's gonna be an example. It's gonna be a whole topic though.
Oh, so like, oh right, okay.
Should
No,
we
so
say it
what
or
we
nah?
talk? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be on mindset and slash perspective on life. I think it's gonna be like a very deep one.
Yeah, I think more like kind of along the lines of the life after death thing, but not life after death.
Yeah, it'll use it. Yeah.
Just because it is a really random thing because literally I just saw a meme, I sent it to Spencer, and then we ended up just talking like we literally like analyzed this thing, but it had a pretty interesting message. So we'll show it. It would be
Yeah.
interesting to see what people in the chat say, like
Yeah,
what
exactly.
their
Yeah.
take on it is and everything. But yeah, that should be a
Yeah,
pretty
I've
interesting.
I've got a fair bit to talk about on that as well. I think it'll be good.
And we can also just bring in other aspects of all sorts of stuff.
Oh,
So
of
yeah,
course, yeah. There's plenty to talk about on life, life or mindset on life.
for sure.
Awesome, yeah. Thank you, gents, for joining.
All right.
Thank you, mate.
Cool.
All right, I'll see you
It's been
later. To have a lovely evening.
See you later, boys. See you later.